The Confederation Council had seen many species present their candidates for the Apex trials. The proud Vrexian warriors with their 4 arms and titanium-dense bones. The telepathic Mindari who could predict their opponents' moves before they made them. The crystalline Shardborn who felt no pain and could regenerate lost limbs within hours. But humans? The Council had laughed when Earth submitted its application. Captain Jessica Martinez stood in the preparation chamber, checking her equipment one final time. The human body was fragile by galactic standards, no natural armor, no venom, no enhanced healing factor. Just soft skin stretched over bones that broke far too easily. The other species called them the pink fragiles, behind their backs. "You don't have to do this," Commander William Hayes said through her earpiece. He was watching from the observation deck with the rest of Earth's delegation. No one expects humans to pass the Apex trials. It's designed for Apex predators, not us. Jessica smiled as she tightened her boot laces. "That's exactly why I have to do this, Bill." The trials had a 93% fatality rate. In the 3,000 years they'd been conducted, only 47 beings had ever completed all 7 stages. Most species withdrew after stage 3, when the mortality rate jumped to 60%. The humans had been strongly advised to skip the trials entirely. The doors opened with a hiss. Beyond them lay the first arena, a bioengineered nightmare designed to test a candidate's ability to hunt the ultimate prey, something designed specifically to hunt them. Jessica stepped through. The arena was a synthetic jungle, humid and dark. Somewhere in the shadows lurked a Phantarch, a creature bioengineered from the DNA of 100 predator species, invisible to most sensor equipment, possessing reflexes that put most sentients to shame. She lasted 4 hours in that arena. When she emerged, covered in greenish blood that wasn't her own, carrying the Phantarch's severed head as proof of her kill, the council chambers fell silent. "One down," she said, her smile never wavering despite the gash across her ribs. Stage 2 tested endurance. Candidates were placed in an environment that slowly cycled through extremes, from -40 degrees to +60, low oxygen to toxic gas, crushing pressure to near vacuum. Most species could adapt to 1 or 2 conditions. The test required surviving all 12 cycles. Jessica had grown up in Montana, where temperatures could swing 40 degrees in a single day. She'd trained in death zones on Everest, in the Marianas Trench, in the Atacama Desert. Humans were persistence hunters, they'd evolved to just keep going. She emerged after 19 hours, hypothermic and hypoxic, but alive. The medics were shocked she was conscious. "2 down," she whispered through cracked lips. Stage 3 was psychological. Candidates were exposed to their deepest fears made manifest through neural manipulation. Most species had simple fears: death, pain, failure. Human fears were different. Jessica faced the ghosts of everyone she'd ever lost. Her father, dead from cancer. Her sister, killed in a transport accident. Her best friend, lost in the Mars colony disaster. They spoke to her, blamed her, told her she wasn't good enough. But humans had something unique: they told stories. They created meaning from suffering. Jessica had learned long ago that grief wasn't something to overcome, it was something to carry forward, to transform into purpose. She walked through her ghosts and left them behind. 3 down. Stages 4 and 5 tested combat capability and tactical thinking. Jessica wasn't the strongest or the fastest, but she was creative. She used traps, misdirection, environment manipulation. She turned her opponent's strengths against them. Humans were tool users. They didn't win through superior genetics, they won by changing the rules. 5 down. Stage 6 nearly killed her. It was a test of regeneration. Candidates were subjected to injuries and had to heal fast enough to survive the next wave of damage. Jessica had no healing factor, no regenerative abilities. She had only her immune system and her stubbornness. The medical team stood by, ready to pull her out when she inevitably failed. But Jessica had studied the rules carefully. The test measured survival, not healing. She didn't need to heal, she just needed to not die. She cauterized wounds with her plasma cutter. She fashioned tourniquets from her own clothing. She set her own broken bones with splints made from debris. When her body wanted to shut down, she flooded herself with stimulants from her emergency kit and sheer willpower. Humans were endurance hunters. Pain was just information. Death was just a threshold. And Jessica refused to cross it. She emerged after 36 hours looking like she'd been through a war. Because she had. 6 down, she said, and finally, her smile faded. Not from fear, but from exhaustion. The council offered her an honorable withdrawal. No species had ever demanded all 7 stages. 6 was legendary. She'd already proven humanity's worth. One more, she said. Stage 7 had no name. It was simply called the choice. Candidates entered alone. What happened inside was never recorded. Those who survived never spoke of it. Jessica was inside for 3 days. When the doors finally opened, she walked out slowly. Her boots squelched with every step, they were soaked with blood, though none of it appeared to be hers. Her expression was serene, almost peaceful. And she was smiling. The Confederation Council rose as one. For the first time in recorded history, they offered a standing ovation to a candidate. Jessica Martinez had become the 48th being to complete the Apex trials, and the first human. Humanity is recognized as an apex species, the Council Prime announced. You have earned your place among the stars. Jessica nodded once, then turned to leave. As she passed Commander Hayes, he grabbed her arm. What was in there, he whispered. What did you face? Jessica's smile widened just slightly. Everything that told me humans don't belong out here. Everything that said we're too weak, too fragile, too soft to survive. She patted his shoulder with a blood-stained hand. Turns out, they were wrong. As she walked toward the medical bay, she could hear the alien delegates whispering, recalculating their assessments of humanity. They'd learn soon enough what humans had always known. Apex predators weren't defined by claws or fangs or venom. They were defined by one simple trait: they refused to quit, no matter what stood in their way. And humans? Humans never quit.